welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I'm Brianna Rittman.
And I am Cameron Main. We are breaking down today's local news stories with our very own reporters. Today we're getting a recap of last night's Peoria City Council meeting, also how one local lawmaker is focusing on energy costs.
Then we're going over recent discussions going on in Bloomington to provide more housing options in the city. And lastly, we'll be going over a natural gas pipeline being replaced in Pekin. Now, before we get into our local stories, we wanted to touch on some breaking news this evening. Charlie Kirk, a conservative activist and close ally of President Donald Trump, has died after being shot at a college event in Utah. Kirk is the co-founder and CEO of the youth organization Turning Point USA. He was speaking at the Utah Valley University. He was speaking into a handheld microphone to a panel of people while sitting under a tent when he was shot.
A single shot was fired and Kirk was hit in the neck or chest. It is unknown who the shooter is at this time. We will continue to bring you updates about this situation on air and online at ciproud.com.
Now bringing it back to Beyond the Headlines, we're starting off checking in with our very own Cameron right here on what he's been working on. So first, beginning with some news coming out of Peoria City Council, correct, Cameron?
That's correct.
So what passed at last night's meeting?
Well, the biggest item was the amphitheater.
Okay.
The $11 million amphitheater that will be possibly being built on the south, just a little south of the Riverplex, on the riverfront, near you, kind of between the Murray Baker Bridge and the Riverplex. You know, all that green space there. Okay. That's where it's being proposed. Now, I wanted to be clear. They've accepted a letter of intent. This doesn't mean they're binded by contract to build this thing.
Okay.
They're just trying to figure out if they really can do this.
Now, you mentioned $11 million. You know, taxpayers do not play about their money. So is this going to cost the taxpayers? That's
the surprising thing about this entire deal. This will not really cost a cent for taxpayers outside of some auxiliary costs and then maintenance, which will be levied by the Peoria Park District. So the $11 to build this whole thing is coming from a donation from the Hanks Foundation.
Okay.
Some people might know that this was an idea that was brought to Washington first. The former mayor, Gary Mania, he really wanted to have the amphitheater built in Washington. He knew the person, Jim Hanks, who ran the foundation, wants to name it after his late wife, and recently passed away, Dee Hanks. But the proposal failed there. There were a lot of issues that didn't really find the perfect place to build it. And then there was also some conflict of interest things that were raised by people there. But now they kind of said to each other, why don't we just put it in Peoria?
Okay.
And so now it's really probably going to move forward in Peoria.
Now, how did council members and the mayor react last night with the letter of intent?
They were pretty thrilled, I think. I think this is the first time that all councilors were so excited on the same page about the same thing. And that's kind of crazy because a lot of the councilors have very varying opinions. But the idea of just getting $11 million to build this thing in the river, in the riverfront, that is a big deal, and it doesn't happen every day. So pretty much everybody was like, this is a night to celebrate. And, you know, council member Timothy Riggenbach even said this could be even considered, like, in 40 years' time, how we consider the Civic Center, what would we be without it?
Okay.
That's something he said at the council meeting. They're all super excited about this. There was some opposition by Friends of the Riverfront Park.
Okay.
They were upset that the green space was potentially being destroyed in this whole setup.
That's understandable. Now, going beyond our city council, local city council, you also spoke with Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy about energy. So what's the update on that? Yeah,
so basically, I think most people know utility bills are quite expensive right now. I think that's been a big problem for a lot of consumers. And Raja was like, this is not okay. And he believes the federal government isn't doing enough to put themselves forward to handle this kind of utility bill crisis that a lot of people are facing. One of the things he criticized the Trump administration for is the repeal of tax credits for solar, especially since 92% of recent producers of electricity, like plants and stuff like that, 92% has been wind and solar. So they've been very easy to just build and put on the grid and start producing energy. That is less incentivized under the Big Beautiful Bill. The Hood
Okay.
came out with a statement and said, we didn't invest in that, but we're still investing in natural gas, biofuel, oil, and still looking to have an energy revolution. But for now, Raja is very upset with the Trump administration and the federal government for not doing enough to handle the utility bill crisis.
All right, Cameron, thank you for those important updates about the amphitheater and our energy bills. Now we're going to talk about some candy. M&M is launching its newest flavor innovation, M&M's Honey Roasted Peanuts. The Honey Roasted Peanut M&M features a roasted nutty profile that offers the perfect crunch with a touch of honey sweetness. The treat will be available in retailers nationwide.
Honey nut? Is
Honey
that-
roasted. So have you ever seen honey roasted peanuts? Down there just covering them in chocolate.
Oh, okay. Look, I'm not a big nut fan. I am allergic to almonds. I do like peanuts.
Okay.
I can have peanuts. And I also used to think I was allergic to hazelnut.
Oh, wow.
And for a while, and I kept on saying it because my nut allergy developed later in life, at least my almond one. And I was like, yeah, I can't have hazelnuts. And then someone goes, oh, so you can't have Ferrero Rochers? And then I was like, wait, I had one just yesterday. I love those things. I
Good
guess
thing.
I
Well,
guess
we're
I
glad to know you're not allergic.
yeah, I was like, okay, I guess scratch that off the list. Hazelnut's good.
Right. Well, you also wanted to share some of your favorite candies from Australia.
yes.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, look at this one over here, Tim Tams. This is delicious. These are very rich, very sweet, but very, very nice. I think these actually,
They actually look good.
we have a huge problem in Australia that I don't think Americans deal with. Our chocolate melts very quickly.
Because of the sun.
Because it's so hot.
Right.
You know, it's a very dry heat. And so it melts in your pocket. So these things melt very quickly.
So you have to eat them
it
soon as you buy
smudges on your fingers even if you're in an AC home. But these
Wow.
things are so good, including this. This is Whiz Fizz. This is what we had as children. It is basically colored powdered sugar. And you just scoop it up and you eat it.
Oh, we have like those fun dips. Fun dips. That's what that reminds me of.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah.
Oh, we should bring both.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow get both on
I
the show.
think you can do care packages of Australian foods.
Okay.
My mom gave me one when I first moved to America.
Okay.
I'm seeing maybe we could get some,
Okay.
get her to send me another one and put some, you know, Aussie food on the table and get people involved with the culture from down under.
Yes, sir. Speaking of that, do you like Outback Steakhouse?
I actually really do. When my mom came up to America for
Mm-hmm.
my graduation from ISU, we took her to Outback
Okay.
Steakhouse, and her favorite place is Chili's.
Oh,
She
okay, nice.
texts me at a considerable amount saying, "Hey, hope you're doing well, Miss Chili's." She loved that place.
All right, well, shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
Now, when we come back to Beyond the Headlines, we've got Austin Feeman joining us to discuss the plans for housing in Bloomington. We'll have all the details after the break. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, where we talk to our reporters about the stories that matter to you. Our next big local story of the day takes us to the Twin Cities. Recent discussions being held in Bloomington on how to provide more housing in the area. WNBD's Austin Feeman joins us now to explain what Mayor Dan Brady is saying. So go ahead and tell us what Dan Brady is saying.
Yeah. So at the council meeting on Monday, there was a lot of talk and public comment about this report. And this report was saying that they would be mandating some certain provisions that were not appealing to the neighborhoods. You know, some of the things that were in there were a walkability, parking, and housing expansion division. All those things, you know, the homeowners association didn't really like it, and they were very concerned about what this was going to do to their homes. When I spoke with, when I spoke with Mayor Dan Brady today, he was telling me that this was simply an acknowledgement of the report and put it away. You know, they were not looking to put any of this into effect right now.
Right.
He told me that this report would be, it could work in some places. Some of the things in the report could work in some places in Bloomington, but it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. You know, it's a case-by-case basis to kind of put this report into action. So anything in this report will not be affecting current homeowners, but it could be affecting future homeowners and future homes that are built in Bloomington.
Okay, understood. Now I watched the meeting on Monday, and I myself was confused and listening to the public comments, and then we finally got to the agenda item, and it was explained. And it's so interesting in our roles, we go from council meeting to council meeting and realize things, how everybody runs their meetings, some things you like, some things you don't. And my suggestion is just, some cities say receive and file, and I think that would have cut down Monday's meeting if the wording on that agenda item was
yeah.
a little bit more clear.
It was almost 3 hours.
Yes.
It was crazy.
But speaking of, that wasn't the only housing item on the agenda. But so what are some steps forward that the council may be taking to fix the housing issue in Bloomington?
Yeah, so like I said, they identified this report, and they said that this could be used in other areas in Bloomington, but right now it's just not in the cards to be applying at this moment, but it could be in the future. Another thing that Mayor Brady told me today is that a lot of this housing situation is completely out of the city's control. You know, with the national economy right now, everything, all the prices is super high, and building things, the materials to getting materials to build is very expensive right now. So that's why we're not seeing a lot of houses coming up, because private contractors want, you know, Brady said this, he said, builders say, if you want affordable housing, give us affordable building.
Right.
And that makes complete sense. You know, if we want to build affordable housing for families to live in, it's going to have to be affordably built. There's going to have to be affordable materials to build the house and for the land and whatnot, you know, all those different things that go into it. But basically they're saying it's really out of their control, and what they can do right now is wait for the national economy, or they find more affordable ways to build housing in Bloomington.
All right, Austin, thank you for giving us those
Of
updates
course.
about Bloomington housing. Now we're going to switch gears to a story that will make animal lovers happy. The Fort Worth Zoo in Texas is proud to announce the birth of not one, but 2 lion cubs.
Aww.
The male-female sibling pairs were born at the end of June to mother Saba and father Jabulani. These are Saba's 2nd and 3rd cubs. The cubs have been behind the scenes growing and bonding with mom, while keepers have kept a close eye on their development and well-being. Now I gotta go watch Lion King.
That's so cute. Oh, they're
looking like
playing.
Nala and Simba. Oh my God.
I need one. I need one. I need a lion cub. And I need a lion. You know, I've seen videos of people like literally are like best friends with full-grown lions.
Wildcats are my favorite. Oh, let me not say that. That's my rival.
Oh, no, you can
Cats
say that.
that live in the wild, like the lions and the tigers.
Right,
I love
right.
them. I love them.
Yes. No, I just want a big lion. I can, you know, if he's as
They're so
big as me,
adorable.
I'll give him a giant hug. You know, I really want a giant cat.
I like jaguars.
Yes.
Cheetahs. Oh, the cheetah's like photo aura.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. She's a bad girl right there. That's a bad girl right there. And then I love a Black Panther. I
Yes.
love a good panther.
Yes. So pretty.
Well, after the break, we got one more local story for you. When we return to Beyond the Headlines, we're sitting down with Alex Berger to learn more about a natural gas pipeline being replaced in Pekin. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines, our final local story of the day. Ameren, Illinois, working to replace more than 100 customer pipes in Pekin. WNBD's Alex Berger joins us now. So Alex, tell us about the importance of this work and why it's being done now.
Yeah, so this is work that started in July. This is replacing gas pipes for more than 100 customers, as you mentioned, more than 100 customers in Pekin, more towards the north side. I went to Terrace Boulevard today to see the work going on there from a independent construction company, and the street is just lined with barrels and stuff like that. It's still, people are still able to get in and out of their homes, but it is a project that aims to help update some of the, you know, systems that were in place 80 years ago. So these are gas pipes that were put in the 1940s, and they are kind of cast iron, kind of outdated, stuff like that. So What this aims to do is put in more plastic-based, moisture and chemical-resistant pipes that will help get cleaner gas into people's homes for the winter. So, yeah, it's a big project. It's $800,000 too. So
$800,000.
So.
Now, did you say when this project will start? Could you repeat that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it started in July, and then as far as when it ends, it'll go until November.
Okay.
So they're just taking right now, especially since it's warm, they're taking the time to really get as much out of these last warm moments as they can. The summer's kind of the prime time, so they just want to make sure they can get it done before it gets cold. So, and as you can see, the work being done on your screen
Right.
there's a lot of heavy equipment involved, a lot of digging, and there's a lot of construction, but it's still accessible for the residents, which is always good as well.
Okay, thanks. You gave us a lot of information. I wanted to make sure we had all the facts. It costs $800,000. The
Yep.
project started in July.
Yep.
It ends in November.
Yep.
And what did Ameren officials have to say real quickly?
Yeah. So this is kind of just something where they want to make sure that the gas they are putting through is clean. They want to make sure that the systems are updated to the newest models. There are standards they have to be at. And so 80 years for gas pipes is a little long. So they are just updating to the latest ones.
All right. Well, Alex, thank you for that update. We're going to switch. I mean, they keep giving us sports talk, you know.
Hey, it's
I
almost
know
like-
we have CI Sports Zone, but maybe we need to get in on that.
Yeah,
Or I need
exactly.
to join y'all, okay?
Yes.
But no scandal here, just pure economics. What NFL stadium has the cheapest hot dog? Who do you think has the cheapest?
I'm going to say probably Indianapolis. That's my guess.
I'm just going to go with you. I'm going to guess that too. The most expensive one is at a Buffalo Bills home game where their dogs go for around $11. However, the Bills have the fourth most affordable tickets among the
Yeah.
league's 32 teams. Somewhere you got to get the cost, right? The Bears are in the top 3 with a dog at Soldier Field just under $9. And the cheapest dog is at an Atlanta Falcons game,
Ooh.
going for $2. According to the owner, all their concessions food is cheap because the Falcons have only won more than 8 games once since 2018. So the owner lowered prices to make sure fans still come to the game. You know what? Let's book a trip to go to the Atlanta Falcons game. Why not?
Well, Brianna, you know I am a Carolina Panthers fan.
I know,
And that is a divisional rival. So to hear.
We can go when they play them in Atlanta. Would you just sit? I mean, either way,
Exactly.
we'll just sit on the Panther side.
I'll be decked out in my Cam Newton jersey. So to hear that the Falcons, you know, them mentioning that they haven't won more than 8 games, music to my ears, truthfully. But hey, they've got $2 hot dogs. You can't go wrong with that. Cheap concessions.
Cheap concessions.
That's where it's at. Hot dog is not my go-to though. I like a good pretzel.
Okay.
If I'm at a sports game,
A pretzel.
give me a good pretzel, maybe some nachos. I don't know, depending on what I'm feeling.
Definitely a
I'm
hot
feeling.
dog and a soda.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Yep.
I definitely like a little snack throughout the
A
game.
little popcorn. Popcorn's like an indoor sport thing for me though. Like if I'm at like a
Hockey game, basketball
Yeah,
game.
it's very
okay,
hockey.
I can, yes.
yeah,
I
outdoor is
get
like
that
more
feel.
like burger and fries. So
Yeah, true. All
Yeah.
right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. You can find all of our stories over on our website, ciproud.com.
For breaking news and weather updates 24/7, log on to ciproud.com and download the free CI Proud to Go mobile app.